Anytime you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself too and answer. Just know that you become the star of the recording for that time. So with that said, let's stand up. Standing up and walk around a little bit, but do it slowly and feel your feet coming onto the floor. How do you walk? What is your strike pattern? That means what touches first, what touches second? Does it touch evenly? And ideally, we strike at the back of the heel, and then we roll forward, and the inside of the foot, the big toe mount, and the pinky toe side of the foot lands at the same time. And that the feet also look down at your feet as you walk. Do they point straight forward, or do they turn a little bit more out to the side? Now that may have something to do with the orientation of your lower bones of the leg. So as you come to a standstill, look at your knees. So the center of the knees, we want those to point straight forward. And if there is again a rotation, as I mentioned, of the lower leg, that may still mean they're going to turn out. But most of the time, the center of the knee and the second toe should align with one another. Also, I invite you to look at your shoes. Do you wear the inside of your shoes or the outer edge of your heels more? That gives an idea of, again, of that strike pattern, because that changes everything upward. So from here, as you stand, let's shift your weight from side to side. And as you do so, keeping the four corners of the feet anchored. So that's a little bit of ankle movement. Our ankles have to adjust when we walk on uneven ground. And do we have this flexibility? Now rock back and forth. Do you have this movement in the ankles as well? Or as you draw forward, or are you lifting the back of the heel to do so? So the ankle is a hinge joint, just like the knees. But again, we have a little bit more wiggle waggle to the sides. That would be the technical term. Now, as you stand, I invite you to stand with most of the weight into the heels before you fall backwards. And notice as you ground into the heels, how the knees begin to be a little bit more engaged with a sense of an upward movement maybe. The quads are now helping out, so we don't rely on the hamstrings to keep us upright. Maybe the belly lifted up a little bit too, allow the sternum to also lift up. Notice as you begin to lean forward how everything just kind of collapses on the front body, and we lost that core support from the quads and the lower abdomen. So just things to ponder as you wander about to keep the gears of your body happy. Now let's walk to a wall and stand out. You can have your arms straight, they can be bent, but you want to have a little bit of a lean forward. See, I'll stand back a little bit further. I hope you can see me back here. And we're going to have a little chat with the gastrocs first, the big calf muscles. Lift the heels up and feel the back of the calves engaging. And I will count us down from 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Take a deep breath in and out here. And then turn your feet out, Charlie Chaplin feet. And we repeat. Lifting up on the toe mount, big toe mount and pinky toe mount are both down. So now you may feel like you're using a little bit more of your outer calf. And then slowly again, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, down. Notice, are other muscles in your body trying to help out? It's a friendly neighborhood, this thing having a body, and that's both great and not so great, because these patterns can begin to layer in, so the muscles that were designed to do the work, they kind of stop as the other ones take over, but the other ones, they weren't quite designed to do the work long term. Turn the toes in. So now the shy feet. So the big toes touching or very close to touching. And again, lifting up on the balls of the feet. And again, down we go, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Let's take the feet parallel again. But this time we're going to bend the knees a little bit. So that takes the gastroc out of the equation, the gastroc, the chicken breast on the back of the thigh, so we can get to the soleus that lies underneath. Lift the heels up again, so the heels go straight forward. And you'll find maybe or feel a deeper contraction. The soleus is sometimes called the second heart. This is an integral part of helping the blood get pumped back up to the heart. And we'll count them down, 15, 14, 13. Of course, if you need to go faster, by any means do so. I think we went down to 11 here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Straightening the legs. And walk around again. Notice now the bottom of the feet as you stand, as you walk. You may have a little bit more connection to the floor. And then playing a little bit more with the ankles. This is where a chair can be helpful. But again, sitting on a counter, a table. So as I sit on a chair, I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to slide it under my thigh so my leg can dangle. I need dangle abilities. And I'm just leaning back on the chair. I'm not worried about sitting very tall and upright. But dangle, that's a must. So with the leg just hanging straight down, now eversion, turning the bottom of the foot towards the inversion, turning the bottom of the foot towards the center line. So as you begin to slowly turn, but rest of the leg is not moving. So you might feel these muscles either side of the calf because that's where they attach. And then slowly release that contraction. Can you all see my foot? Let me do it again. I'll sit forward here. So with the inversion, the foot is going to turn in so that the pinky toe side of the foot is going to hang closer to the floor. And then I'm simply going to release that contraction. So now shortening the rubber bands on the inside. This may cause some cramping initially. Don't be afraid of that. That's just the muscles saying, what? Let's do that again. Draw the big toe side of the foot upward. But again, it's a pure ankle movement, but you'll feel it in the calf. And then slowly let that contraction release. Notice those jumps and jitters that may be in the release. That's where we have a little bit of motor amnesia. So slow it way down. Thank you, Lindsay. Slow it way down when you release. The slower you go in the release, the more time your motor cortex has to incorporate this event. Let's do it one more time. Bending it up. Contracting. I feel the contraction. Yep. And then now I'm going to slowly let that contraction go. I'm going to let you monitor that one on your own. And I notice mine is a little jumpy today. It's like, I don't know why you're asking me to do this. From here, let's do the E version, turning the foot out. So now the pinky side of the foot is going to lift up. So notice if you're moving your calves out, keep the calf where it is so the leg is still just hanging straight down. Feeling this on the outer shin. Slowly release that contraction. Letting it go. Completely let it go before you re-engage. We'll do a total of 3. Re-engaging, feel the muscles contract. I hear fairly frequently people love to walk on the beach and season is coming up and then they come back to class and say, God, my knees really hurt. Or hips. And that's because the ankle joint is not accommodating the uneven of the beats. It tends to be a little sloped. And we take that into the knee joint instead of, or hip, instead of using the ankles to do this movement. They may be locked in. So that would be the cause of knee or hip pain. All right, so far so good. After the third one, we'll tend to the quadriceps. Let me turn the chair here. Sometimes the quads, all those rubber bands behind the knee, they get stuck. So now again, I just want my leg to be able to dangle. Getting in a little traction. And slowly contract and straighten your right leg. Straightening up. And you can feel the quadriceps have engaged. And then I'll count this one down. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and down. Let it hang, letting it hang. So notice, keep your sits bone well anchored. So when you're not engaging the upper part of the hip flexors to help, as we try to lift, it's a pure quad. We're just engaging that lever. We'll do it again. Straightening the leg. Tight quads are often implicated in knee thingies because it jams the joint. So when we get the quads, the calves, and the hamstrings, which all crosses over the knee joint, all sorted out, then the knees gets a little bit more space. 15, slowing it down. 14, 13, 12, 13, 11, there it comes. Keep your thigh really heavy on your support. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and completely let go. We'll move it to the other side. And let me turn around again here. So we started with the inversion and eversion. Roberta, you gotta help her. So first, inversion, draw the bottom of the foot towards the midline. And then slowly, 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 releasing this down. Moving that resting tone on the ankle down so that we have access to more mobility. We'll do it 2 more times. Draw the bottom of the foot inward. And then slowly, slowly, slowly releasing. Letting it go. Hanging. So don't initiate the next movement again until you completely relax. Give it that extra breath. Can you sense the muscles that are contracting? And it can be helpful to close the eyes when you do the movement so you can really keep your awareness within. Notice if there's a difference between your dominant side and your non-dominant side. Turning for eversion, turning the foot out. And then slowly, slowly releasing out. And notice how helpful your calf is. To turn the foot out more, we might begin to move the lower leg. But for this, put the lower leg in a vise and just move the ankle. This is the kind of stuff you can just sort of sneak in. You're at a boring meeting or you're in a waiting room. What else are you gonna do? They took all the magazines out of the doctor's offices for good reason. So you got your little list of things to tend to. Now, onward to the quad. So straightening the leg. And you can take a hand and place it on the top of the thigh and feel your muscles beginning to engage. Not the hip flexors, not the front groin. They're going to work a little bit, but keep the back of the thigh super heavy on the support as we count it down. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Let it hang. Completely suspend it. Getting a little bit of space between the thigh bone, the femur, and the tibia. The fibula is that little dude that hangs out on the side. It looks woefully undersized. Let's do it one more time, straightening the leg. So that's why the muscles, I think, the design team said, we're gonna put all those muscles on the back to protect the fibula. I'm gonna let yourself count yourself down this one here. Close your eyes and just move as slowly as you can. As you release the leg down slowly and evenly, notice those jitters and jumps. Notice if any other part of your body is trying to help out. So the benefit, of course, is not only are we bringing a release onto the muscle, we are strengthening because of this releasing, eccentric. We keep a load on the muscle as we release it. Now we'll take the blanket out, we'll move the chair to the side. And we are ready to come onto the mat. So as you lie down, did I get it, Sally? And to start by placing your body on the mat, notice what part of your legs are touching the mat. Notice that pelvis is one laying a little lower than the other. That will affect how we use our legs. The sacrum in the back of the head ideally touches evenly. But if you find that your chin is jutting up, your shoulders are pulling up, slide a pillow or a blanket under your head so that there's a sense of the back of the neck being slightly longer than the front of the neck. Now let's bend up the knees. And placing the feet in a comfortable way. We'll take the hands to the lower abdomen. And just start with the diaphragmatic breathing. Breathing in, the belly expands. And breathing out, the belly relaxes. If you're feeling that you can't quite take a breath into the belly, it may be because we just need to exhale a little bit more, and exhaling with pursed lips can help us really empty out the lungs because, and this is with the anxiety attacks and panic attacks, where we try to take that deep breath in, but it's already full, and then we start off onto that scary journey. So pursing the lips on the out breath, empty the lungs. And then let the breath just flow in to the lower abdomen. And it may take several rounds to help release. We often carry a lot of tension in our lower abdomen. When we breathe in this way, every part of the body is receiving a little bit of a drag movement. The connective tissue that connects from the diaphragm connects to everything. So that just helps us, if you will, instigate the movements. So we'll begin to move into the arch and flattening as you inhale, contract the low back, belly expands. As you exhale, we float back, so we release the contraction on the low back. Take a breath in and exhale. Now flatten, hollow out the belly. And then relax back to neutral, so the front relaxes. And from here, take a buffer breath in and out. And we go again. Inhaling and arch, because the muscles in the low back are contracting. And then we'll release that contraction. Breath in for nothing. And exhale now, hollow out the belly. And then release that contraction. Buffer breath. Well, we're going to add a little bit of ankle movement to this. So on the next inhalation, you're going to arch. You're also going to lift the heels up. And now we're contracting the entire back seam of the body. And exhale, releasing back to neutral. Breath in for nothing. And then on the out breath, flattening the low back, And then lift the front of the feet. Draw the toes towards the shins, contracting the entire front body. And then slowly let that go. Buffer breath again. And we'll repeat. Inhale, arch. Heels are lifting. And slowly relax. Buffer breath. Breath in for nothing, and then flattening, hollow out, really pull it in and up as you lift the front of the feet towards the shins, and then letting that go. Buffer breath. One more time. Arching. Heels lifts. And floating back. Neutral. Everything cools. Waiting for the out breath. And then flattening. Lifting the front of the feet. And let go. Easy breath in and out. We'll do a little bit more ankle work here. It's one of my favorite, because they're all my favorites. So sliding your right leg out slowly. Feel your blanket as you slide the foot out. Feel the foot. When you have to begin to lift the toes, stop. And then here you're going to flex the ankle again. Now curl the toes under. Curl the toes under. And then slowly lower the bottom of the foot towards the floor. And then slide it in as you relax the toes. Once in, lift the heel, spread the toes out, and let go. We'll take a buffer breath. And we repeat, slide the foot out. So maybe it's going to be different for everybody. So the foot stays flat on the mat. So that's about our ankle mobility that determines how far out the heel will slide. Flex the ankle, toes towards the heel, but then curl the toes down. Slowly lower the feet. And slide the foot back in. Lift the heel and spread the toes as best as you can and lower it in. That's worth repeating one more time. Lower, slide out is what I'm trying to say. Lift the ankle. Curl the toes under as if you're trying to pick up something from the floor, which is a great exercise for toe mobility. Lower the tip of the toes towards the floor, and then let that contraction at the bottom of the foot release as you slide the foot in and lift the heel one more time, spreading the toes, and then let it go. Now sliding the legs out and just sense right foot, left foot. Right ankle, left ankle. Same for the calves. What does your brain have more access to? And let's bend up the legs again, because we got to go to the left side, right? Again, slide the foot out and really feel again the texture of that is meeting your foot. And then flex. Curl the toes. lower the bottom of the foot, sliding it in. And then lift the heel, spread the toes. And relax it down. Sliding out. Flex the ankle. Curl the toes. Slowly lower. And slide the foot in. Does this foot feel the same as the other side? Which one is the easy one? Which one needs a little bit more concentration to be executed? Lifting the heels, spread the toes, and lower down. And then last one, sliding out. Flex. Curl the toes. Lower the tip of the toes down. And sliding in. Lift. And lower. And let's slide the legs out. Toggling your mind between the left leg and the right leg. Our dominant side occupies more space, again, in our motor cortex, because we have more conscious use of that, or subconscious use. We're going to bend out the knees, we're going to roll over onto the right side. And take your right leg out long. So this one is a little different from what we did on Monday. Supporting your head on your right arm, or maybe a pillow. And then relax your left arm out in front where it's comfortable. So we'll begin by just simply sliding the right leg. So that'd be the left leg out and up. Sliding the hip down and then draw the hip up. Back and forth. The foot slides on the floor, so I'm not lifting the left leg up quite yet. I want to get this movement established. Sliding the hip up and down. So this is your lower obliques. Inner obliques has to do this work. Pulling the hip up and then lowering out. And now I think we're ready to start taking the leg up. Lifting the right leg up as you hike the hip up. And then lower the leg down and long. Draw the hip up. Let the leg lift up like a great big pulley. So maybe a foot-ish. It's not a huge lift. Let your waist instigate. And then lower it down. One more time. And lower. And now take the leg out in front. So straight out, pull your right leg up so the knees are stacked, one on top of the other. So right leg is pulled out, left knee is right on top, and then straightening it out. So this may be a really big lever. So remember, sometimes we initiate without executing. Now draw the hips back so that your left leg is not rolling down on top, that you keep your waist long. And take your hand to your outer left hip. This is where the tensor fascia latae is, which I always think they should be serving up at Starbucks, but they don't. But this is a little muscle that works with the outer tone on the leg, and it can get super tight. We're going to lift maybe a foot, no more than a foot. Let's take a breath in and begin to lift the left leg up. Are the muscles on your outer hip engaging? And then slowly from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and foot is down. This is a very long lever. This is not a big muscle, but it inserts with the iliotibial band that connects below the knee. So if this band is tight, it's going to yank our knee out of alignment. We're going to do it one more time again. Draw the hip down and lift. Maybe not a foot. Be kind. Feel the muscles engage. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Rolling onto your mat. Pause here. And just ponder, right hip, left hip. What changed? Did we move that resting tone down a little bit on the left side? And we'll go to the other side. Supporting your head. And take your right leg straight down. And bend out your left knee as you're comfortable, laying on the side. So we start, got to get the waist on board, so this whole side seam. And just pull the hip up. The foot is going to slide up a little bit. And then I'm going to release that out long. So gentle movement. Sliding, so your right hip slides up. And if you're not exactly sure, it's like, what is anything happening? Just take your hand to your waist. You will feel your inner obliques engaging and then lengthening out. And we want to get this on board. Hip is pulling up towards the ribs and then lengthening out. Do it one more time. Draw the hip up. Lengthening out. And now we'll begin to put a little load on that. Pull the hip up. The leg is going to lift up. Maybe a foot. And then lower down. Drawing up. Hip lifts. Foot draws, comes up along with it. And then as I lengthening out. So the action happens from the oblique. The foot just travels along. If I overlift the leg, I'm now beginning to file gluteus medius and minimus. And I'm not looking for that. All I want is just the waist. There, that's going to be next week. That's all pelvis and low back. So we got this one more time. And then we are ready for the iliotibia, also known as the IT band. It looks really funny. It's just like it's a really thick band, not really a muscle as much. Swinging the legs out in front. Knees are stacked. Draw the hip down, because it's very easy to collapse the waist here. So keep your waist even sized on both sides. And when you're ready, you can make sure that it's happening, that the muscles are firing, hands on the outer hip, lift, maybe a foot, and 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Take a breath in and out. So the leg is out at a 90-degree angle from your trunk. So just pull your bottom knee up higher so they get stacked, one on top of the other. Draw the hip back, down. One more time. So only 2 on this one here. This is a long lever. Lifting on the in-breath. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Buffer breath, in and out. And we'll roll onto the belly. And as you come to rest on your abdomen, place your head in a way that's comfortable. So that may be forehead on the back of the hands. It may also be down on the mat. You may also like to be up a little bit if that feels better for your neck. Just keep your chin down towards the chest. We're going to work on the hamstrings here. Those hamstrings. We'll start by bending out the right knee, drawing the heel towards the tush. Now keeping the hips drawing down towards the floor. And then I'll count these down. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way down. Relax the back of the thigh completely. And then roll the thigh bone inward. So the thigh bone rolls. Now the kneecap is going to be pointing towards the center line of the body. The hips are not changing. So there's this thigh movement, rotation. We're going to bend up the heel of the knee again. This time the knee is going to go, or the heel is going to go out to the side, more so than straight back. And we're going to be using the lateral, the outside of the hamstring. So my foot is kicking out like I'm doing the can-can. Is that the dance? And then 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Keep the hips pressing down evenly. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Letting go. We'll roll the thigh bone out, external rotation. So now the knee is pointing away from the midline of the body. Bend up the knee again. Now your right foot is going to be crossing over your left leg as you bend it. Feel what muscles are supporting this little event. And 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Now take your right leg back to neutral. Pause. Feeling the back of the right leg, back of the left leg, behind the knees, and also the pelvis. The hamstrings again are a two-jointer, the pelvis and the knee. So let's bend up the left leg. Now, as you bend the left knee, feel the muscles engaging. First, the ones lower on the leg, but the closer you take the heel to the tush, the higher up the contraction has to work, because it helps with hip extension to take the knee behind. And 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All the way down. Everything pulls. And we'll roll the knee towards the midline. Internal rotation of the hip. Keeping the pelvis neutral so that it's not helping out. And bend up the knee again. Now the heel will go out to the side. And 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let go. And then turning the leg, kneecap out. Bending up the knee. How is this movement different than the previous ones? Got so many rubber bands to keep track of. Pelvis, even on both sides, drawing down. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Cooling breath. Take your left leg back to neutral. And we'll bend both knees up at the same time now to balance both sides. So heels straight towards the tush, both of them. Pressing the hips down. And slowly, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Everything pulls. Now tucking the toes under. Tuck the toes under. And then creep them towards the nose. They're not going to go very far. Press the heels back. Spike the hips down. And then inhale, lift the heart. And then draw the belly button forward, draw the belly button forward. And lower down. Cooling, letting go. And we'll do this one more time. Tucking the toes under. Creep them upward. Press the heels back. And you get 10 toes tucked under. And then lift the heart, lift the heart. Legs are straight, quads have engaged. And then the belly button lengthens upward, 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 upward. And let go and come down again. Everything pulls. And let's roll over onto our back body. Sliding the legs out. And then mapping your feet, the lower leg, and the thigh. I'm going to give you a little bit of a help here because it's like, what does that mean? We want our brain to know that they are there. So we've done this one before. Starting at your right big toe, tracing the outline of the big toe down into the valley of the second toe, trace up around the second toe, the valley between the second and the third toe. Third toe, keep tracing. Fourth toe, tracing the outline. Pinky toe, tracing the outline. Now draw the outline along this outside of the foot to the heel, then up the ankle, the lower leg, to the outer knee, the outer thigh, to the hip bone, all the way to the hip joint, and then draw across the pelvis, an outline of the pelvis, to your left hip joint, tracing down the outer left leg, knee, calf, ankle, outside of the left foot, around the pinky toe, and to the next toe, tracing, third toe, second toe, big toe. Drawing all the way down through the inner rim of your foot, outer ankle. Now that'd be the inner ankle. My apologies. Inner calf, inner knee, inner thigh. Returning to the thigh, hip joint. And we're going to travel across the pubic symposium, that's the front of the pelvis, back over to our right hip, and then down the inner right thigh, inner knee, ankle, heel, inner foot, back at the big toe on the right. Allow your toes to wiggle, and we'll bend up the knees. Rock the knees a little bit from side to side. And let's roll all the way over onto one side, right or left. And then we'll press up. And then before we close, I'm going to